Hey guys, today I have a video for you that I have been planning to make for a very long time, but apparently I never have the time or I forget to do it. But you love me, so... what am I talking about today? Today I am talking about how to start using they pronouns for someone else that you know. This isn't a video like how to start using they pronouns for yourself. I mean, I guess this could apply. But I recently have gotten a lot of people in my life recently have started using they pronouns. So I'm gonna explain what that means and how you can start getting used to using they pronouns for the people you love. There you go, that's the topic. There you go, that makes more sense. So what is a they pronoun? Like, what am I talking? What are you talking about, Shay? Oh, what are you talking about? Sorry, I had grapes right before I started making this video, so I'm a little bit hyper. Pronouns. So they. What does it mean? So usually in society, women are she and her, and men are he and him. But there are squiggly lines all over the place. There are people who prefer different types of pronouns, no matter how they present, no matter how they look, how they feel. So I think it's super cool and interesting that more and more people are either using they as a pronoun. So instead of saying he or she, you would say they and theirs. Like he, him, they, theirs. It's really not that complicated, but yet people seem to make a huge deal about it, so I think that's why I want to make this video, to just literally show you how easy it is to just switch. It does take time, but you can still do it. It's not a, I could never do that. Sis, please. So what types of people use they pronouns? Well, it could be anyone. It could be you. But you playing? No, but for real, it could be anyone. So I have friends who identify as non-binary, so they identify outside of the gender binary, like exclusively male or exclusively female. As an example, I am a very binary trans guy, as in I tend to be and present more masculine. Although, you know, people always say that, but like, I guess I sort of feel like that, like I am binary, but I really don't feel like that. I mostly feel like a squiggle. Like, I guess you could consider me non-binary, but I don't identify that way. So I mean, what I just say I'm trans. Like, to me, that's just me. That's how I identify. But there are trans people that use non-binary. There are trans people that use they pronouns. There are non-binary people who use pronouns. That is not to say that trans people are not non-binary or non-binary people are not trans. Please, people keep like putting things in my mouth. I am not saying that at all. I'm just saying some people like to separate it, some people like it together. So I'm just gonna make everyone happy and just everything, okay? And then there are just people who are just queer and just prefer the pronoun they, and there are just some people who just really don't like her and she pronouns, so they just go with they. Like, it could literally be anyone. So I feel like the more people start expressing their pronouns to other people, more people will start to understand them, and more people will be like, oh, I would also prefer that. I didn't know that was an option, or I didn't know that other people would be cool with that. So I think that it's cool to like get it out there and get more people to talk about it and stuff like that. So that's why I'm making this video. Plus, I'm gonna share a couple of tricks with ya. So even me, as Chase Ross, okay, who is so open-minded and like, whatever you do with your life, it's you, I'll respect you. You tell me your pronouns are he, I'll call you he right away. Like, there's no, the switch in my head is super easy. But I will say that when I started to get, there's someone close in my life who now uses they pronouns all the time. And I will say that it was very, 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 very hard for me. I'm being really dramatic. It was hard for me to switch pronouns. And they weren't around a lot at first, so when I was talking to someone about them, I would accidentally slip and use a different pronoun. And then I would only realize later, I was like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. And then it started to be slow where I like would say it, and then I would catch myself right away. I'd be like, oh my god, they. So it was a gradual process for me, but I think that the number one thing I want people to understand is that even when you transition and you tell your parents, I'm gonna use he now, you can't expect them to do it overnight, okay? You're allowed to be angry. All of your feelings are valid, 100%. But it's also like an understanding of this is how we were all socialized to like only know he and she pronouns. So when someone comes at you with a they, not that I'm saying that they're like, people are being assholes to you, you should just deal with it because it takes time. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're allowed to be pissed off. And I'm saying that it also takes some people some time to adjust. And I think that for me, I'm talking about my personal experience, because the way, and this is the trick, that I have found that it works for me and now I never slip up. In your head, you say the person's name and then you say their pronouns. So the person that I'm referring to did not change their name, just their pronouns. So let's say that this person's name is Leslie. Okay, let's go with a gender neutral name just because the other, I don't want to say the person's name. I don't know if they're comfortable, like, the internet's knowing about all this stuff. So in my head, I would go Leslie they, Leslie they, Leslie they. And every single time their name would pop up or their face would pop up in my head, or I would see them on my computer screen, on Facebook, anywhere, they. That would be the first thing I would say, they, and then I would just repeat it, they, Leslie, they. And I know, it sounds ridiculous, okay? But it works, and it worked for me, like, so much. And it was very hard for me to accept. I'm like, why can't I just get it? Why can't it just stick? I just didn't understand why it wasn't sticking together, and how can I be so open and stuff like that, yet I can't get one person's pronouns. So that's why I was like, no, Leslie they, always. And then eventually I was able to just do it, and it was fantastic, and it was really cool to see my brain change that way, and now I don't slip up. But I will say one thing. I think that a lot of the issues that I was having was because a lot of the people that I was talking to about this person, if they ever came up in conversation, did not know that they used they pronouns. So I think that my issue was, do I out them? Do I tell the person that they use they pronouns? Like, if I'm talking to their family, what do I do? So that's the part where it's like a very gray line. It's a gray area. Because if I'm talking to their family, I have to use their old pronouns. And it feels so dirty. I feel so dirty using those pronouns. And I try so hard to, like, avoid it, but they've told me, like, you just use those pronouns with my family and these people that don't know. And I'm like, okay. And it's just like, oh, it's just hard. So in my head, it's like 90% they, and then the 10% other, it's like I have to... So it can be a little bit tricky, but it is worth it, and it was 100% worth it. I'm not complaining, by the way. I don't know if that looks like I'm complaining. I'm not. It was 100% worth it for me to do all of that work inside my head, and I would even say they out loud when I was alone, of course, not outside in public, like on my phone walking to work. They. But what I'm saying is that it was worth it. It was 100% worth it because I respect this person a lot, and obviously I want to show them respect, so by using the pronouns that they prefer, like, obviously I'm respecting them. So it is just still a bit tricky for some people who, like, don't know, and I'm just, like, using they pronouns, and I look at their face and they look at me like, are you talking about multiple people? And I'm like, no, I'm talking about one person. But, like, it's a little bit. So now this video became about one specific person. I didn't want that to happen, but it did. But I do have some other friends who do identify or as non-binary and use they pronouns. By the way, not everyone who's non-binary uses they pronouns. Let me just put that one out there again, just in case somebody just puts something in my mouth. Why would you put something in my mouth? Put words in my mouth? That's what I'm looking for. And another thing that you can do is just have, like, an open and honest conversation with the person about, am I allowed to tell other people? Because I don't want to use your old pronouns because that's disrespectful to you, but they don't know. Do I tell them? How do I tell them? So I think having an honest and open conversation about that with the person might show the person that you really do care and you don't want to mess up. And even like, oh, how do I talk about you in the past and stuff like that. That's also important, especially I feel like any type of pronoun that switches, right? So if you are trans guy and you use he pronouns now, but people in your life still use like, oh, when she was younger, she was the kid. No, that's not cool. So I think that having that conversation with anyone who like switch around the pronoun. Copyright Chase Ross, don't steal that from me. I'm kidding. Sorry, the sugar is like up here and I have like 9 videos to film today. Bless, so you have everything for the next 2 months from me. Because I'm busy. So my hair will be like different colors, the usual. Cause like I feel like people look at my videos and then they look at my social media and they're like, why is your hair pink? And then in the video it's green, but you posted them both today. I don't understand. So that's it, that's the secret. Alright, that's it, that's all I got for this. Let me know what you think. If you have any other tricks, please let me know, because this is the trick. I've really only needed 1 or 2 tricks that have absolutely helped me, and it's exciting stuff to be able to talk about this openly with other people, especially the internet, and I want to open up this conversation to other people who might not know about they pronouns or like non-binary identities and stuff like that. So yeah, alright, I'll see you soon, and don't forget to like, comment. I can't say that with a straight face. I can't promote myself like that. But for real though, if you want like reviews and cool things in my face with dyed hair, then subscribe. Okay, love you, bye.